Phenomena.
For the win!
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
I'm out of here. Phenomena.
With the Cruz, and he spins up and into the end zone for a touchdown.
It's a power play goal!
And yes, this is indeed the Power Play Sports Talk Show on this Wednesday night, July the 26th, 2016. July's almost over. Jesus. It's coming up to football season now.
Fuck yeah.
Football season. The National
Thank God.
Football League. I'm Howard.
Well, we did miss a week.
Yes.
That's right. Sorry about that.
Dude,
No, it's not your fault.
no, it was my internet just shitting the bed. Literally,
Right.
the internet just came in here and shat on the bed.
Mm.
And, it took a day for it to come back fully.
Looks like it's working.
Yeah, thanks, Xfinity Comcast. You're the worst.
Try to get Fios in here, but not available.
No, it's not available here in Connecticut in my area either. I was pissed about that when I moved.
Yeah, it's not available in my area either. But
What the fuck?
yeah, it sucks. It's like of select areas. It's dumb as shit.
Mhm.
So we did miss a week, and we missed quite a bit, to be honest. Yankees pulled off a big trade. They gave up Blake Rutherford, which was a big point of contention with Yankee fans. They gave up Rutherford, Clarkin, who was in that same draft as Judge, and they gave up who was the other prospect they gave up? They gave up Clippard, which is fine, and then they gave up Tito Polo, who they got in the Ivan Nova deal. So, I think overall, good trade overall.
No, I like it. The only piece that really bothered me a little bit was Rutherford, but he was slumping. I think he was in Double A, right? He never even made it.
Yeah, he was in Low A.
He was in Low A. So there you go. So I don't know. I mean, it's nice to see Todd Frazier home. That's cool.
Got his first home run today.
Yeah, I saw that.
About 500 people from Toms River in the stadium on what was that, Monday night? No, Tuesday night.
Yeah. And Sterling, did you hear Sterling's call for it?
Yeah, it was the Todd
awful.
father.
It's so bad.
What?
Yeah, it was the Todd
It's so
father.
bad.
Oh, hold
It's
on.
in Todd we trust.
In Todd we trust. That's the other part of it. Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
There's always 2 or 3 parts.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I mean, he can't really do anything with Frazier. He's already using that one. But
yeah.
no, it's nice to see him come back, especially, I mean, for me, I played against him. He's the same age as me, graduated the same year as me, so that's cool.
Right.
But, the bolster of the bullpen, and you could see it already. It made immediate impacts.
Yeah.
I mean, we have three legitimate closers in our bullpen right now.
Well, I don't know about Betances at this point.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what?
it's good to see David
He
was pitching better.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
if
I mean,
you're-
that's the thing.
at this point right now, if you're going to bring in a right-handed setup, man, it's almost you got to question why would you not bring in Robertson over Betances?
I agree.
because-
I was thinking that. I was thinking that last night. Also,
Yeah.
me and Uncle Scott were talking about it, and we were both saying basically why don't you go back to Canely?
Yeah, no, I don't. I do not fucking get why he did not come back in last night. I don't understand that call at all. And one of the things that me and my dad were just throwing around, Jardy loves the whole righty-lefty matchup. There's no arguing that. With
There's no lefty in the bullpen though.
Okay, other than Chapman.
Yes, other than
Hear
Chapman.
me out.
There
Hear
is
me out.
Okay.
No argument that Chapman's been struggling this year, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Chapman makes me shit my pants when he comes into games.
So if you're going into the 8th inning, a one-run game, and let's say for argument's sake you have 3 lefties coming up, why not bring in Chapman And then why does Chapman have to be the closer when you have someone like Robertson?
Or even, Betances when he's right. I totally agree with you because I saw them do that a lot against the Blue Jays, where the Blue Jays, they tend to put their lefties at the bottom of the lineup because the top of their lineup is all their righties. It's Tulo, it's Devin Travis, it's Batista, it was Encarnacion, Donaldson. All those righties are stacked up. So when we would play the Blue Jays and he would bring in Betances in the 8th and he'd face all the lefties, I'd be like, why aren't we doing this reverse? Because
if they weren't struggling,
yeah,
I could see it. Fine, whatever. Chapman's a closer, but I'm tired of having these titles for these athletes that are struggling to do their job. If you're the closer, you are the best pitcher in the bullpen. That's it. Right now, the best pitcher in the bullpen is probably Robertson.
Or Canely. Or Chad
Canely.
Green. Or Chad Green. Chad Green's unbelievable.
Well, I'm not putting Chad Green in as a closer. But
no, absolutely not. Not over those guys. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, and if he wants to bring in like a Shreve against a lefty for a batter and then bring a righty, why can't we do that later in the game? I don't understand.
No, I mean, he's got these roles and these assigned roles, and it gets maddening. To be honest, it just gets awful.
There's no improvisation.
There's no managing by the gut. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all Betances is in the 8th, and when Clippard is here, he's in the 7th, and and it's just like I don't know. And then there's times where he just manages backwards. Like, I'm trying to think of the Caleb Smith game against the Twins on what was that, last Wednesday night, maybe? I don't know. It was the series last week against the Twins where the Yankees come back. I think they were down 3 runs, something like that. And they came back to tie the game, and Caleb Smith comes in. He gives them 2 solid innings, and then he goes back to Caleb Smith in a tie game. And of course,
second time around the lineup.
Yep, second time around the lineup. Of course, Caleb Smith gives up 3 runs, and that's the game, So it's annoying. And that was actually the same night they pulled the deal off. So that was Tuesday night.
Okay.
Because I remember that night all these guys weren't available, but now they're getting Robertson and Canely, so they don't have to worry about that.
You think they make the move for Sonny Gray?
I do. I really do. The whole reason I brought this up was because of the Blake Rutherford thing. The way I felt about Rutherford is I just felt like his value could only get higher. So dealing him for 2 relief pitchers and a guy on half a year who's more than likely a rental. We all like Todd Frazier, but he's really got to play at a high level to stick around on this team. Third base is almost spoken for with guys like Glaber and Andujar and even the possibility of signing Machado in 2 years. That position for the most part is spoken for. So trading Rutherford was listen, I understand they had to get the deal done, but I just felt like Rutherford in a year or two could have been like that guy that the way the Red Sox traded Moncada and got like an ace.
I see. I get it. I agree that he was eventually going to be traded. I don't think he was ever going to make. He was never going to make our roster.
I agree with that. There was too many outfielders, and they're all ready, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still think we're signing Harper, so that just adds another body in there. But
he better play center.
I think he could. I think he can play center.
I know he started his career playing center, but he really didn't play there.
Didn't he start his career playing catcher?
Oh, he was drafted as a catcher. Yeah.
He was drafted as a catcher out of high school, and then they moved to the outfield because catchers just take a beating. But he was athletic enough, and he's got a great arm to where he could play the outfield, and he's been a very good outfielder.
He was a first overall pick, so he was fast tracked to the major leagues.
Yeah.
When he made his debut at 19, something like that. It really wasn't long after he was drafted.
No.
So, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the next phenom, all this. So, Nationals, they wanted to get him up because people knew who he was. So, but he did start off as a catcher, and then he did play some center field. He played some right. Mostly he's transitioned to right field. But, listen, if he can play center, then, all right, okay, fine. Frazier, Harper, Judge. Yeah, I'm good.
If Cespedes could play center, I think Harper could play center.
Cespedes can't play center. They just put him there.
That's right.
Let's be honest. So, yeah, but I didn't think of it the way you put it, where you could have let Rutherford build up his value a little bit more. But if you need a bullpen help now, then who else would you have traded?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
You would have been okay with.
There's the other problem with this to me is that I'm still, as much as they're playing well, and they beat the Reds, that's fine, and they beat the Mariners, who are good. They're a good team,
and they've won 5 out of 6 now. So
yeah, no, they're playing a lot better, and that's good. But I still don't feel like this is the year for them to make a run and win a championship. So pulling that trigger on Rutherford this early seemed a bit early is the only way
premature.
I can put it. It just seemed, premature, yeah. It just seemed premature. The deal is done. Canely looks like a fucking monster. The guy does nothing but throw strikes and strike people out.
Yeah.
The first time Robertson got back on the mound in a Yankee jersey, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face because he's just one of my favorite Yankees, that guy. He was awesome. So seeing him back is great. And, Todd Frazier's a cool story because he's from New York. So,
yeah,
he gets to play for the team he rooted for growing up. That's always cool.
And that's the Little League World Series. He was on shortstop. He was at shortstop with Derek Jeter. So it's full circle. It's nice.
Sure. It is nice.
Sure,
I think,
definitely.
I don't know if the White Sox might have included Frazier in that to unload that salary more than the Yankees wanted him. And then
they did.
It could have been the White Sox said, "Hey, you got to take Frazier because you got to take this salary," and then the Yankees probably came back and said, "Well, then you got to take Clippard off our hands." Right. And the negotiation might have went like that.
It probably did. I mean, when they're getting Rutherford in the deal, I think they're pretty much willing to take whatever else at that point. We'll get to Sonny Gray in a moment, but I really think what Cashman should be focused on right now is getting Ellsbury off of this roster.
Did he play today? He batted 8th today.
He batted 8th. He played center field. He is a $24 million pinch runner.
Yes.
At this point.
Did you hear what Michael Kay said about what they should do with Jacoby Ellsbury?
With Verlander. I'm all in.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I didn't hear this.
Attach, sorry. I'm outside. Sorry about that.
Well,
they should call.
To sum it up real quick, he basically said that, if the Yankees should inquire about Verlander because, he's got a huge salary just like Ellsbury, but that salary would be used better if Verlander, if you have Verlander on the team instead of Ellsbury. The only problem is with that trade, and I looked this up because there were comments on the video that I watched, and that would be that Ellsbury has a no-trade clause.
But you know what, though? I honestly think
he would okay a deal to Detroit, but it would mean that he would be playing more, which I'm sure he wants to do instead of just sitting on the bench earning his money. Well, not
exactly.
Earning, but,
He's getting his money pretty much. No, that is the pitch. Listen, we got Clint Frazier. Next year, Dustin Fowler will be back. We got Judge. We still have Gardner. We still have Hicks.
We want to sign.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to say that, but
no.
They also have Billy McKinney, who's another guy who's played really, really well in the minors this year. So I think that they can say to him, like, listen, if you go to Detroit, you'll actually play. The playing time is not here. We're just not committed to playing you anymore.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys. Verlander's definitely one of them, but it's not going to be as easy as saying, here, take Verlander. We'll take Verlander, you take Ellsbury. Because I'm pretty sure their contracts are about even. I think maybe Verlander might have a year or two more on his deal.
Well,
like you said,
Ellsbury's at $21 million. Let me look at Verlander's.
Well, it's not about the money; it's about the years. That's really what it's about.
And it's also about who the Yankees would include to get a Verlander.
Yes, exactly.
A Mateo or even
a
Gleyber Torres.
No, not Gleyber Torres. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
Verlander signed until 2020.
The same thing as Ellsbury.
At 20,
Oh no, no, actually,
Through 2020.
Ellsbury is signed until like 2022.
Verlander is signed. He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2021, so he's signed through 2022. The salary actually goes down for Verlander. He's at $28 million this year. He goes
Okay, so
28 next 20 in 2019, 22 in 2020.
Total years left on the deal. What is it?
After this year, he's got 3 years left.
Yeah, I that's the same thing with Ellsbury. You're basically trading a bad contract for a bad contract, and Verlander hasn't pitched bad enough that the Tigers just want to get him off. I mean, he was in the Cy Young voting last year. There's no way they're just going to give that guy away for another bad contract.
I don't see. Well, Verlander also has a no trade clause. Not saying that he'd want to stay in Detroit, but I don't know. You don't know what kind of roots he has there. But
right. I don't see Verlander having a no trade clause. Where do you see that?
On Spotrac. It's the second bullet after contract notes.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see that because usually they got that that lock on there.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't think it's a full no trade clause.
They just unloaded JD Martinez, right?
Yes.
The Tigers to Arizona.
Oh, so they're selling.
They're selling, definitely.
But selling means you're acquiring assets, not burdens.
Yeah, no shit.
So listen, if it comes with Jorge Mateo or Estevan Florial or Billy McKinney or Domingo Acevedo or one of those prospects, I mean, maybe it's a possibility they would do it. There's a couple of other guys that make sense from that standpoint of basically just saying like, here's Ellsbury's contract, which only has 4 years left on it, and we're going to take whatever ridiculous contract we can just to offset the burden on the other team. So the Seattle Mariners are definitely one with Robinson Cano. To me, I think a reunion with Robinson Cano makes all the sense in the world because if you put him at second base for at least the next 2 years, at some point down the line, he can become a lefty DH because he's always been a bat. In his younger days, he was a Gold Glove second baseman. That's all fine. He's still a competent defensive second baseman. But a lot of people bring up the core four with like 96 and 98 and 99, but there were a ton of veterans on those teams.
Sure.
So you really need that mix. You need that mix of veterans and rookies. Like if you're just planning on going, Frazier, Fowler, Judge in the outfield, and Glaber, Didi, Castro, Wade, and Bird in the infield, and Sanchez behind the plate, and Chance Adams and Justice Sheffield, James Caprillion, Jordan Montgomery, Luis Severino, all these young guys as your team, it's not going to be as good as you think it is. Like all the talent is there, no doubt, but you do need that veteran mix. So I think Robinson Cano would be an amazing addition to this team. Obviously, it's a tall task because the Mariners like Robinson Cano, and I think they're in contention for a wild card spot at least. But that's one contract I would look at to say, here's Ellsbury and maybe a prospect or two, and say we'll take Beckano's contract and take on the financial burden of that. The other guy I was thinking about last night watching him was Joey Votto. Now, Votto is interesting because obviously if you're going to include Ellsbury, maybe you would include Bird because Votto's going to be there for a while. So, I mean, you're not really going to keep Bird if you're going to have Votto. So, but Votto's the guy, he fits right in with the Yankees. He takes his walks. He hits for a good average. His on-base percentage is always really, really high. And obviously, lefty swinging power hitter in Yankee Stadium, it's always a fit. So there's a guy. And, I mean, the name that was floated last week, I don't think it's possible at all, was Giancarlo Stanton.
I heard about
I don't like that at all.
No, Giancarlo Stanton makes the least sense because he can't play anything other than right field.
Yeah.
So we're not going to clog up the DH by bringing in Giancarlo Stanton. That just doesn't make sense. And he's 26, 27. No, he might be a little older. He might be like 27, 28 now. But clogging up the DH with a 27, 28-year-old guy, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So Giancarlo makes the least amount of sense. And then there's a couple of pitchers. There's Jeff Samardzija that's been floated out there. That, to me, for Ellsbury would make more sense because that is a bad contract for the Giants, like really, really bad. And Jeff Samardzija has been awful. Like, Verlander's been good. Samardzija has been awful. So just the idea of taking back Samardzija doesn't even really appeal me all that much to get rid of Ellsbury. But if it's something that they did, it's not something I would be totally opposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Cueto's another guy. Cueto's making a lot of money. And I think he just got signed to like a 4 or 5 year deal. So he's another guy. But I think at least Cueto would give you something. You know? So there's guys out there. And I think Ellsbury, you know, that has to be you know, they're trying to get this Sonny Gray done deal right. This Sonny Gray deal done right now. And that's all well and good. But I think Cashman has to move Ellsbury before the deadline. I really, really do.
I brought up Votto's contract. For his age, he is signed. There's no way he finishes his contract. He
No.
signed through 2023 with a club option in 2024. Also, a full no-trade clause. So, but yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's rebuilding. You don't know why they want to continue paying him $25 million a year.
But they got to get him to a trade, though. And that's like I saw Darvish has a 10-team list that he waive his no-trade clause for.
Yeah.
Well, the Yankees are not on that list.
Yeah, they're not on it.
But Darvish, to me, for a rental, I think you'd have to give up too much, to be honest.
Well, that's what it all comes down to. Like you're talking about all these deals with Ellsbury and everything. It sounds nice, but I'm still not giving up a big piece just to unload his contract.
Well, no, I'd be getting back a useful piece as well. It's not just bad.
But I'm not getting rid of a. Obviously, Torres is on.
No.
Is borderline untouchable, but like
But
Mateo, I guess I'm a
Mateo.
huge Mateo fan, but I've come to the realization that he'll probably never make it to
He
the
doesn't
big
have a spot. He doesn't have a spot. The only way I could see Mateo sticking on the main roster is if he ends up in a bench role where he plays outfield, second base, shortstop, third base. Like he ends up one of these super utility guys with blazing speed off the bench for late games.
Like a faster Ben Zobrist.
Yes, I mean that's basically what they've done with Tyler Wade.
Yeah.
So you know, if basically I would only be looking at Mateo to replace Torres as you know that super utility right-handed bat off the bench. It's the same thing they're doing with Wade, pretty much.
I know they're talking about Florial in the Sonny Gray deal. He's someone I personally wouldn't mind packaging with Ellsbury if we're going to get one of these names. Like him and Ellsbury for Votto, done. I'll sign you up right away. Him and Ellsbury for Sonny Gray.
Well, I don't think Ellsbury would go in a Sonny Gray deal because I think the A's are trying to get every, you know, they're trying to wring every last drop they can out of Sonny Gray with the trade, and I think Yonder Alonso is probably going to end up being in the deal too, which really muddies up the waters because they just got Headley playing over at first base, and as much as you know Yankee fans shit on Headley, he's played pretty well lately. He really has. He's come up with big hits.
Since about 2 weeks before the All-Star break going into now, he might be our hottest hitter.
Dude, he. This is the thing with Ellsbury, and a lot of people, not Ellsbury, excuse me, Headley, and a lot of people get lost in this. He'll have like a really bad run, like he did to start last year, where he was hitting I think below 100 for the first month of the season, and then when he snaps out of it, he hits. This year, he got off to a really, really good start, and he hit the skids in May, and he picked it back up, and he's played well ever since before the All-Star break. So,
he looks have decent fielding at first.
Yeah, he's played over there. He's really not bad over there. You know, I'm not saying Headley's part of the future or anything, but like I said, you have to have this mix of veterans, and sometimes when you bring in too many new faces to the clubhouse, things can get, you know, things can screw up the chemistry of a team that's playing pretty well.
I agree.
So I don't really love the idea of Yonder Alonso. He is a rental, so it's really not like, you know, he's coming back on a 4-year deal. It's really more of like I said, it's a rental.
I think that's more of the case of the A's wanting to unload than it is the Yankees wanting another first baseman.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, I don't really see why you would do that because Ellsbury, I keep saying Ellsbury, Headley hasn't been playing against left-handed pitching because he's been terrible from the right side of the plate. So he's exclusively hit as a left-handed batter. So you can't even spin it like, oh, we're going to send down Garrett Cooper and we're going to have Ellsbury I keep saying fucking Ellsbury. Headley is going to bat and be platooned with Alonso at first.
Yeah.
You know? You can't even spin that. And it's not like Frazier can play DH because Holiday's playing DH. So
Rich, that brings up another thing that I have a major problem with.
yeah.
I fucking can't stand Headley at DH. I understand if we're fielding our whole roster and Torreyes is sitting or whatever, but in a game like today where Judge is on the bench, why can't you have Judge DH?
I think he wanted to get Judge a full day off.
Give me a fucking break. He's got to go up there for 3-4 at bats. It's a day off.
But he's
not
hard,
playing the field,
so he's gonna get tired from swinging.
Oh, where? You fucking break. What's he take? Maybe 10 swings a game.
If there's anybody I'll defend for a day off, it's Judge. I don't think he took one day off the entire first half of the season. How many games has Judge played, Howard?
Give me 1 second.
I would guarantee if there's like 87 games played so far in the season, he's played like 83, 84. He really doesn't sit.
He's played 96.
And it's what, 99, 100 games into the season?
That includes like.
Oh, we lost Jared.
You lost Jared? Oh, okay, I thought that
Oh,
was.
there he is. Okay.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. No, we lost you for a second.
I'm looking at Judge's stats. And yeah, he has 96 games, 419 at bats, making $500,000.
It's ridiculous. That's why, I mean, listen, that's why they want to build around these prospects. But, you know, at the same time, you have to have that mix of veterans, man. Like, think about the bench that the 96 Yankees had. They had Darryl Strawberry, Cecil Fielder. They had Wade Boggs. I mean,
because they picked up Charlie Hayes at the deadline.
They had Charlie Hayes as well. I mean, like, you know, those guys aren't prospects. So
Girardi.
Oh, they did have Girardi. I thought Girardi was starting. I thought Leyritz was the backup.
Yeah, Girardi was all year.
But was he starting?
Was Leyritz on the team, or was Leyritz there in '98?
Leyritz was the backup.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I thought Leyritz was the backup.
They were transitioning Posada in '98.
That's right. Posada was the backup in '98. Oh, fuck me. Shoulder's killing me. So yeah. Yeah, they need that. They need that mix of veterans. They really do. And I think, man, I'd really love to get. I know I keep saying I'd really love to get Robinson back on this team. I really, really would.
Was Castro coming back? What is going on with it?
He's got blood under his hamstring. So.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. No, not really. Hicks is supposed to be back next week, though.
You don't think they're going to extend it until they make a trade?
I don't know. I mean, there's no lock you can trade Ellsbury. That's the thing. You know, I also thought the Cubs would be a great fit for Ellsbury. I've said that all along, just because he's a Theo Epstein guy. But I just don't know the contract that maybe like a Lackey, something like that. But the Cubs are trying to win, so they're not going to give up a guy like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. One thing I do know, though, they cannot send Clint Frazier back to AAA.
No.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
That would be bananas.
Now, he is showing that he belongs up here with his base running and his defense.
That catch he made in Seattle saved the fucking game. And then an inning later, he comes up with a 2-run double with 2 outs. I mean, the kid, you know, I'm not saying he's the greatest player in the world, but he's shown enough that there's absolutely no reason to send him back down. None.
None whatsoever.
None. You can't justify it, especially when we came into the season talking about, we're going to see what we got in the kids. You know, we're going to see what we got with these kids. It's all about rebuilding. It's all about retooling. It's all about building for the future. And now all of a sudden you got Ellsbury or Aaron Hicks getting playing time over Clint Frazier. No, I just don't see it.
mean, if Hicks doesn't get hurt, you don't know if you see Frazier up now.
You're right, but the fact that we did, you know, it happened. So we know what Clint Frazier is. I mean, we don't know full well what Clint Frazier is, but we know what he's capable of. And for me, that's enough for him to play left field every day, and for Gardner or Hicks to be the center fielder, and for Ellsbury to get the fuck off my team. It's not like Ellsbury's been good. He's been awful.
Yeah.
He's been arguably one of our worst contracts.
Well, all he has had is good stretches. He hasn't had a good season.
No.
Did we lose Anthony now?
I think so.
Anthony?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of drops in and out. When Ellsbury does have a good stretch, he gets hurt. That happened earlier this year too. He was playing well, and then he ran into the wall, and he had a concussion, and he was out for fucking a month and a half, whatever it was. And then you give a guy like Aaron Hicks a chance to play, and you get to see what he can do. And it's a good problem to have all these guys and try and figure out where they all fit. But it is a problem because you can't play them all. And if it really is about building for the future, and it really is about getting these guys ready to be major leaguers, guys like Clint Frazier, then they have to, he's here now, he has to stay.
It's going to be interesting. What, the trade deadline is the 31st?
Yeah, I think it's July 31st, right?
Yeah, 5 days away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 days away. Yeah, and
so by the time they call Hicks up, hopefully something would have been done by then.
Hopefully, you can only hope.
I haven't heard a thing. The only thing I've been hearing is Sonny Gray. That's all I've been hearing.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, that package is like Florial, Mateo, and possibly Domingo Acevedo.
For Sonny Gray?
And Yonder Alonso.
That's a lot. That is
It is a lot. I can give up Acevedo if I'm getting back a pitcher like Gray because he's young and he's under control.
Yeah, he's only 27. Sonny Gray's only 27, so giving up a young pitcher doesn't hurt that much.
And even at Acevedo, I mean, they say even at Acevedo's ceiling, he's a reliever. He's like the next Dellin Betances. Like, he throws hard as fuck, but his delivery is so out of whack that he'll never be able to
his delivery is
starter.
all fucked up.
Yeah. So they're saying he'll never be a starter. So even if Acevedo goes to the Oakland A's and becomes the best closer in the league, it's worth it to me to get Sonny Gray.
All right. Well, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and Mateo makes it a lot as well because Mateo's playing his ass off.
I've always liked Mateo.
Yeah. Listen, he's a good player. It's just, again, it's finding a spot for him,
Sure.
Castro's here right now. I would imagine if they have a legit shot at signing Manny Machado, they'll trade Castro and move Gleiber over to second if that's how the future ends up, with Torres at third.
Well, there's Machado in 2 years.
Like
if they even hold off after that, there's Arenado in 3 years.
Arenado.
So,
wow.
I don't know where I saw it, but I saw something like Machado might be on the block also during this trade.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And you know who else I saw? It might have only been no, I know what you saw, Howard. It was like deadline long shots or something like that. It was Manny Machado and Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, no way the Mets are trade.
The Mets say, God, fuck.
If the Mets trade Jacob deGrom, that would be
trading.
the stupidest thing that they have ever done in their history.
Harvey's going before deGrom.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I think they would have I think there's really only one team that can trade for Jacob deGrom, and I think it's the White Sox. And I think it would literally have to turn around and trade every single prospect that they've gotten in the past year.
Moncada, Giolito.
Yeah. Yep. Moncada, Rutherford, Giolito.
But I think even if
Lopez, Kopech, I think they'd have to trade it all.
But I think even if the Mets are offered 5 or 6 top prospects, I don't see how you could trade Jacob deGrom. I don't see it.
If you offer me something like that with Moncada, Rutherford, Giolito, I'd take it. You plug Giolito in that spot right away.
No, listen, I have to think about it because the one thing that the Mets do have, when they're healthy, they have pitching depth. You know, they go about 6-7 deep.
But how often have the Mets been able to have every pitcher healthy?
Poor Zach Wheeler's hurt again.
Syndergaard's been hurt for how long now? Matz is hurt a lot.
Syndergaard tore his right lat, so that's a pretty serious.
That's what he gets for bulking up. That big bitch.
Yeah.
I said this before on the show in the past. Way in the past that this could be Generation K 2.0 all over again. Because look, these guys can't stay healthy. They can't.
Done more than Isringhausen and fucking all those guys. Pulsifer. What was the other guy? Paul Smith, was that his name?
What the Mets are reminding me of, sort of, are the Cubs of the Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, era. Wood and Pryor were a little bit younger, I think, especially Pryor. Pryor was super young when he came up. Wood was
not really if you compare him to like Matz and
not Matz and Syndergaard, but DeGrom and Harvey are almost 30.
Yeah, no, Harvey's like 28 now. DeGrom is 29. I think he's going to be 30 next year.
But it's similar to that, where you have all the potential in the world, but you can't stay on the mound.
Nah, listen, you're right. You're absolutely right,
that's for most pitchers, though.
To me, the problem that the Mets created for themselves is they didn't put enough on the field. They just thought, we're going to have this amazing pitching staff and the rest of it's going to take care of itself. Just they're not an defensive team whatsoever. They've got so many guys playing out of position just to get bats into the lineup.
And even when those guys are healthy, they got Cespedes, who's poo-poo. And they thought Lucas Duda was going to be better. And they thought Darno was going to be better. And granted, he's been hurt a lot too. But they got the other Conforto, who's actually good.
He's good, but he's not a center fielder. He's good, but he's not a center fielder. And I had this conversation with John on the Sunday shoot. Like, that's exactly why they should be trying to turn Jay Bruce into a monster trade piece. Mm-hmm. They should not be thinking about trying to re-sign this guy. That is classic Mets right there. The fact that the Mets aren't going to turn around and get the biggest package they possibly can for Jay Bruce is asinine. Yeah. Asinine. And then here's the thing as well. He's a free agent. You can always re-sign him.
Sure.
Like
what we do with Chapman.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's worked out great. But the thing is, the guy's a free agent, and you're not competing this year. I'm sorry, Met fans, for all here come the Mets. Like, no.
They're not coming anywhere.
You're not coming back from this. You don't play a couple of bad teams and beat a couple of bad teams, and all of a sudden you're back in the race. You're 12 behind the Nationals and 9 out of a wild card spot with like 7 teams to catch.
Yeah.
So that's not happening. So it's actually aggravating to me that the Mets won't trade Jay Bruce. It really is, because my phone's dying. It really is aggravating to me because
lost your picture.
That's the biggest piece that they have.
Anthony, we lost your picture.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm just looking at like a blue little emoji looking thing.
He's Canadian.
Well, you hear me, right?
Yeah, sure.
I gotta get to a charger. My phone's dying.
All right. We'll just go fuck ourselves while you do that.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
No, but you're talking about the Mets, and I'm looking at their record. They're 4 games under 500. I just don't see the Mets being able to compete, especially you're looking at, like you said, the 12 games behind the.
They're not catching the Nationals, so that's not
absolutely
even
not.
Especially with the bullpen help that you just got.
And they're 9 games back of a wild card, so they're not.
Who's in the lead? Who's in the lead for the wild card in the National League?
You got Arizona and Colorado.
Arizona was my pick last year to win the West.
The Dodgers are by even.
The Dodgers. The Dodgers are definitely going to win the West, but I love Arizona, especially now that they got JD Martinez there too. Whew. And who else? I'm sorry, Arizona.
Pitchers in Greinke. Colorado. Colorado's still hanging on. They're ahead of the Cubs by 4.5.
Oh yeah, we got the
The Cubs are only 2.5 behind Milwaukee. Oh no, sorry, they're half a game behind Milwaukee.
So the Cubs will probably
So
end
the
up
movie
winning the division.
Yeah, because getting Quintana really just solidifies their starting rotation.
Sure.
So that was a big move by the Cubs getting Quintana, and really his first start was a sensational start.
Yeah, what, he struck out 12, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be back. I mean, they need to stop panicking. They're going to be there when it's all said and done.
Well, they're about to catch the Brewers. I think they're like a half a game out, right?
That National League playoff picture, that bracket is going to be fun to watch with the Dodgers and the Nationals and the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. That is going to be really, really fun.
No doubt. Especially with the Dodgers now, who knows? Maybe the Dodgers go out and get Justin Verlander like there was talk of a couple weeks ago that they would look at a deal for Verlander.
Especially with, and I know they said it's not as major as last year, but if Kershaw's injury does turn out to be substantial, hey, I found my headphones. Does turn out to be substantial, then they clearly need something there.
They're saying 4 to 6 weeks now, but he's going to get a second opinion. But
it's already 4 to 6 weeks for his back.
I heard that yesterday. Well, he's on my keeper team in my Yahoo league, which I had just vaulted into second. But now I'm on the hunt for another starter because he was my top end starter. But I saw 4 to 6 weeks as the preliminary projection of him being out. But then who knows? Who knows? He could come back earlier. He could come back after that. Who knows?
Yeah, the Dodgers are going to do something.
Jared. Nope. Jared. Nope. Now I can hear you totally. And there you go.
I'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, the Dodgers are definitely going to do something. They're like the one team that, I mean, they kind of have to, even though they've won how many games. They're like one of the best teams in baseball right now, but, they still need to make a move.
Yeah, because it comes down to playoffs. I don't think they're beating the Nationals.
No, I don't think so either, to be honest. I think, the Nationals got to figure out what's going on with Strasburg as well.
Yeah.
Isn't he like day-to-day now? I think I saw that Strasburg is day-to-day.
Excuse me. Did you guys see my seats at Camden Yards last week?
Those were insane.
Those were crazy. We were talking to the Rangers in the batter's box. In the deck circle, I mean. It was pretty nuts.
Nice.
Pretty crazy.
Any other good pictures with players, or you can do that?
No, I didn't bring my camera in. Those pictures are just with my phone. And honestly, I didn't even think about taking pictures. I was just enjoying the view and everything.
Nice.
It was cool.
How was Camden Yards? Is it
so nice? So nice. You've never been there?
No.
It's gorgeous.
I wanted to go.
It's gorgeous. It's
yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, honestly, I'm biased.
I want to go to.
I'm biased because of Yankee Stadium, but I've been to Chavez Ravine in LA. I've been to Angel Stadium. I've been to the Trop. Obviously, I've been to Camden Yards. Anything that I've been to doesn't even come close to Camden Yards. It's so beautiful there. But I mean, it's not that far. We can get cheap tickets, go on a little road trip.
Oh yeah, they always get. No, my favorite ballpark that I've ever been to is Wrigley Field. I'm just.
I've never been to Wrigley. I haven't been to Wrigley yet.
Yeah, when I went there and we took the tour the day before we went to the game, and being in the Cubs dugout was just.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm a sucker for the old style stadiums.
Sure.
Wrigley Field to me was, right up there with going to the old Yankee Stadium before the rebuilt one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Wrigley Field was the atmosphere, and the fact that they sell beer into the 9th inning is just awesome.
Well, I'll get there eventually. Still want to see Cincinnati though. I want to see the Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, that one I want to see also. I mean, when I went to Houston and I saw it was Minute Maid. Is it still Minute Maid?
Yeah.
I don't know what. That was pretty nice. Also, that was a nice one. The worst stadium by far that I've ever been to, the Trop.
The Trop is so shitty. I don't care.
It is the worst stadium ever.
Okay, so the worst real stadium I've ever been to, because that was a hockey rink first, is Chavez Ravine, where the Dodgers play. That is
really.
Really, I loved it.
Fuck no. Well, maybe it's because I hate everything about LA, including the people and the teams.
Oh well, the people are just garbage because me and my father had Anthony was on that trip, but he couldn't go to the Dodger game. But we had first base side, where you get all you can eat food and everything, and we had that great experience. The only thing that sucked what you like is the people that show up in the 6th inning and leave in the 7th.
Oh sure. Yeah, but I didn't like that stadium. I didn't like the Anaheim Stadium.
Anaheim was okay. There's nothing to write home about.
No.
By far, besides Tropicana, my second least favorite stadium that I went to, and this might surprise you, probably not, was Fenway Park.
Oh, that would be number 1 on my list if I ever went. Fuck that.
I was not impressed at all with Fenway Park. Not at all.
No, I was looking at that list. Or I was looking at the views from the seats and everything, and I think it's just to go. It's just to go for the historical value. That's purely the only reason to go.
Yeah, that would be the only reason for you to go, to see a Yankee Red Sox game, which I didn't see. So maybe that took away from it. But it just, I walked into Wrigley Field, I got the chills. As an older stadium, I walked into the old Yankee Stadium and got the chills because you're a Yankee fan, whatever.
Sure.
When I walked into Fenway Park, I was like, "This is it. This is what everybody talks about."
Mm-hmm.
It's the good thing about it. It's small, it's intimate, so you get to hear everything. Me and my father, we sat by Pesky's pole. We got seats for like $85, whatever it was, but it just didn't do anything for me as a diehard baseball fan, and baseball being my favorite sport ever. It did absolutely nothing for me. Citi Field, which I went to this year because I got free tickets, was more exciting than Fenway Park.
I still haven't been to Citi Field. I'm definitely down to go. For Yankees Mets. I'm sure those tickets are going to be. They'll probably still be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll be their World Series.
I showed you, right? Right there.
Oh yeah. You showed me the picture.
That's healing.
Fun stuff.
No, I haven't been to a lot of stadiums. I gotta start touring. I want to go to football stadiums too. Me and Ashley were looking up tickets to go to a Chiefs game.
Oh,
that's on my bucket.
Really?
That's my bucket list.
That's
Arrowhead.
Pretty pen.
Yeah, I want to go to the Red Sea. I want to see a game there. I want to see a game in Seattle. I want to see a game in the new Atlanta Stadium.
As much as I fucking despise that crowd, I would want to see a game in Seattle for sure.
Oh yeah, I hate the crowd. I just want to go.
The 12s.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Fuck you.
You want to see if Anthony was
stolen fucking gimmick.
If Anthony was today, he'd just be in his Bill Burr. He's fucking
I would.
stealing motherfuckers.
We are the loudest, my friend. I would be miserable.
I've been to the Rose Bowl, and I saw not the national championship, but one of the playoff games there, Stanford versus Wisconsin. That was fucking awesome.
Wow.
That was really cool because those stadiums fit like 120,000 people.
Yeah, I want to go to a real college game where you see where you're in like a crowd of like 80, 90,000.
Me and my dad were still, we priced them out, but I don't know if it's going to happen. We looked up tickets. Temple, their season opener is at Notre Dame. So,
wow. Really?
The school that I'm going to versus my dad's favorite school, it'd be perfect. So we're looking into that, maybe try and make a little road trip out of it. So that'd be cool.
Where is that? Like Ohio?
No, it's Indiana.
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. Right.
South Bend, Indiana. It's right by.
Wow.
I believe it's only like 45 minutes away from Pennsylvania, like near Pittsburgh-ish, I think. We drove by there on my road back home.
It's a solid 8 hours.
Yeah,
like that.
drive all the way through Pennsylvania.
Yeah. It's a thorough drive through Pennsylvania, that's for sure.
Yeah. But it's not too bad because, I mean, if that's Temple's season opener, you just go to Philly first and you could probably catch like a monstrous convoy going from Temple's campus to Notre Dame's campus. That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Temple
Definitely be cool.
isn't that good, is it?
Huh?
Temple's football team isn't that good, right?
What are you talking about, man? We were nationally ranked last year.
What?
Yeah.
I fell out of
We
fucking.
won our conference for the second straight year.
Really?
Yeah. We're not in the Power 5 conference, which is bullshit, but a lot of people consider us one of the top 5 teams in the Group 5.
Oh boy.
You have a nasty defense.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I do apologize.
You should.
Yeah, you should.
Our defense was ranked second in the country.
Really?
Yeah. We're good. We had a linebacker drafted in the first round this year. He's probably going to go in the third round of our draft.
To who? Jared Forrest?
Maybe.
With the 301 now?
Quite possibly. I think defensive players will last that long.
You know, I wasn't paying attention to the YouTube live chat because there's nobody in there until Chris Villalba joins the YouTube live chat and starts talking his bullshit again.
His shit.
His shit. I'll start at the bottom because we were talking about baseball parks. He says Marlins Park is better than anything in New York.
That monstrosity in fucking center field.
That fucking Picasso-looking piece of shit in left center.
That
fucking
everything.
That fucking Christmas ornament in fucking center field.
Fucking eyesore on the outfield. Anyway.
How many times was it in the home run?
What else has he got?
Not enough because it's still standing.
Oh, that's true. And then of course he talks.
I was hoping Judge was gonna knock it down.
That would have been great. The burst into flames.
Oh, that would be...
knock it over.
And then he's talking some basketball.
Okay.
The basketball. He says he's hijacking the conversation. Kyrie Irving is fool's gold. Do not trade any picks. Herman Gomez or Porzingis. He's not worth it. Not as good as people think. Workout LeBron. He's moderate at. Without LeBron, he's moderate at best.
That's asinine.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not the biggest.
Who made the biggest shot in Cleveland history?
Damn shit.
Wasn't that
that would be fucking Kyrie Irving.
I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but I do know if the Knicks were to land Kyrie Irving, then it becomes a destination for free agents.
Well,
sure.
the thing with the Kyrie Irving thing was because like if it was really like we have to get Kyrie Irving, they would trade Porzingis, but they're not going to do that because they want to build around Kyrie and Porzingis.
If you're able to, go ahead.
So the whole idea that a few weeks ago we were basically talking about buying out Melo and just letting him leave and getting absolute dick for him. The fact that there's even a possibility, I'm hearing it's not a possibility anymore, but there was a possibility that they could work out a deal with Kyrie for Carmelo Anthony. Hello? I don't care how many picks, if I got to include 2 first-round picks in there to get Kyrie in a deal with Carmelo Anthony, then I'd do it. I'd absolutely do it. But it seems that Melo is only set on going to Houston at this point.
Can't work some sort of 3-way deal.
Oh, I've seen a ton of 3-way deals. I saw a deal where we got Kyrie and Tyson Chandler.
I saw that. You posted, or Luke Riley posted on your status or something. Yeah.
Yep. The Suns got Kevin Love, Frank Ntilikina, and a first-round pick, and the Cavaliers got Eric Bledsoe and Carmelo Anthony.
And our first-round pick, right?
And probably our first-round pick, yeah.
Yeah, I saw
But
that same thing.
I do that. I do that in a heartbeat. I do that deal.
There were rumors late last
in a
night
heartbeat.
of with Portland putting together something also.
Well, I've been hearing that that Ryan Anderson is probably going to Portland because speaking of Howard's team, the Nets,
Yeah.
they traded for Alan Crabb.
Yes.
And the whole purpose of doing that was getting Nicholson so they can dump his salary and create the space for Ryan Anderson. So basically that means that there's a three-way deal in place where Melo goes to Houston, Ryan Anderson goes to Portland, and the Knicks get a bunch of stuff. What it is, I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah, what it is, I don't know. I hope it's picks and young players. That's pretty much all you can hope for. There was actually like a little mock draft sort of trade that I worked out where basically I've been saying all along that if I'm the Knicks and they want to include Ryan Anderson in a deal for Melo, that I would turn around and say, well, you got to take back Joakim Noah. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, exactly. Great. So the deal that I cooked up that worked cap-wise, it was I posted it on my Instagram page. It was the Knicks get Trevor Ariza on an expiring deal, Eric Gordon, who signed for I think 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They get who else was in that deal? They got Mo Harkless from Portland, and I think they got a first-round pick from Houston. They got like a future first-round pick from Houston. The Rockets would get Carmelo Anthony, Joakim Noah, and Shabazz Napier from Portland. Portland got what do you call it? Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella, who's a young center, and they got one other guy. I forgot who it was. And then I brought the Phoenix into the deal where they got Courtney Lee and somebody from the Blazers. And the Knicks also got Brandon Knight, but Brandon Knight tore his ACL like 2 days ago, I think. Something like that. He tore his ACL training. Yeah. So he's going to be out for the year. So that would have been very Knicksian to do. Trade for a guy and then he tears his ACL.
No shit. I haven't heard anything since nothing major really since Kyrie announced it, and then everybody had their theories for the first 48 hours after that, and then everything just really died down.
Well, for Chris that says Kyrie Irving's overrated. What does he think? Ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but what does he think the Cavaliers are going to be without Kyrie Irving and Derrick Rose at point guard?
They're not going to be nearly as good.
No, they're not.
No worries.
They're definitely not. They'll end up being a 2 seed because LeBron will win enough games. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just waiting because I don't know if Chris is still watching.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got nothing else to say. You know how he likes to start stuff anyway.
He does. He likes to rile me up.
Of course.
I don't think he actually believes Kyrie Irving's overrated.
If you believe Kyrie Irving is overrated,
maybe he thinks don't trade Porzingis, don't trade first-round picks.
I don't think you should trade Porzingis or maybe Hernan Gomez, but I don't think you should trade Porzingis because if you're trading Porzingis and you're trading Gomez and you're trading first-round picks for Kyrie Irving, you're biting. What is it? What the hell is this saying? I forgot the saying, but you're shooting yourself in the foot because yes, you're getting an all-star in Irving, but then who do you have to play with him? Nobody.
Cutting off your nuts to spite your face? Is that the saying?
Go.
No, you're right.
That's my basketball input right there.
I mean, I did see somewhere that there was there was an article put out. What would the Knicks be with Kyrie Irving and Carmelo Anthony?
And Porzingis?
Which is interesting, but obviously you'd have to give up Porzingis to get Kyrie Irving. So the whole idea is to trade for Irving and then try and make a run with Irving and Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-mm.
And Tim Hardaway Jr. and Joakim Noah and Kyle Quinn and basically all these veterans. I don't think it's the worst idea, but because I do get the feeling in the East this year, how everybody wants the Knicks to finish last. I feel like there's more of a race to the bottom than there is to the top. With all the players that have left the East, as far as like Jimmy Butler and Paul George, just whoever else. I mean, I feel like the West just got everybody this offseason. Carmelo Anthony going to the West to play in Houston.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get a top pick in the East because there's so many bad teams.
Sure.
In the West, there's so many good teams. I don't know. I feel like, if anything, with all of these teams rebuilding, might be the window that the Knicks should capitalize on.
Maybe, but even still, I mean,
trading away Porzingis for Kyrie Irving doesn't really guarantee you anything. So
no, and it's still, what does that do? It gives you a chance at the 3 seed at best.
I didn't hear what you said. You broke up.
I said, what does that do at best? Give you a chance at the 3 seed? Anybody hear me?
I hear you.
Oh,
I don't know if Anthony does.
I think we lost him.
What does it do for the future? Is that what you're saying?
No, for us this year. You're saying, like, okay, so we trade Porzingis for Kyrie because every other team in the East is rebuilding. So
right.
We're not going to – I still don't think we beat out the Cavs.
Nope.
We don't beat out Boston.
No, absolutely not. I think Boston might be the best team in the East this year.
That's what I'm saying. So at the absolute best, you're still only playing for a 3 seed, and quite honestly, I'd rather just try and ship off Carmelo and somehow get Kyrie to pair with Porzingis and use that as a building block.
I mean, listen, that's the pipe dream, isn't it?
Sure.
That we can trade Carmelo Anthony in a package for Kyrie Irving, but it doesn't seem like reality. And I was going to say that at this point, Melo's so disgruntled with the Knicks that I don't think he even wants to stay, Went out and traded Porzingis for Irving, and then they went to Melo and were like, huh? You want to stay now? He'd probably still be like, no, get me the fuck out of here. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this town. I'm tired of this media. I'm tired of this front office. I'm tired of this owner. I'm tired of playing with fucking 15 different guys every year. Just get me the fuck out of this organization. So I don't think Melo would even want to stay, even if they did trade for Kyrie Irving, to be honest with you. I don't think that would change anything.
He's just checked out already.
I think he's checked out. Absolutely. He's absolutely checked out. Oh, after everything that this guy came here, he won 54 games with the Knicks. And then, a year removed from that, they bring in Phil Jackson, and he basically just tars and feathers his best player on a daily fucking basis.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to admit that I thought bringing in Phil Jackson was the right move, but
sure.
To admit I was dead fucking wrong.
Yeah, you were, of course, praising it as all the Knicks fans were, because finally maybe Dolan would have gave up control, and you have somebody who knows something about basketball in there. But
what else we got?
Phil's ego got in.
Anthony's reception got in his way.
Yeah. Jesus, Anthony.
This week it's Anthony with the bad reception, and he's like frozen looking at the ceiling.
He's on that Mexican McDonald's Wi-Fi. Oh, he's gone. Is he gone? Anthony gone?
I just.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Anthony.
Shit,
Anthony.
Hello.
Yeah, you hear me?
Well, now we can.
No, I can't.
Yeah. I was doing better outside when yeah. But I had to charge my phone. Otherwise, my phone was going to die.
You need to get a portable charger.
Oh. What are you eating there? Those French fries?
French fries.
From where?
Let's see. If I show it to you, you think you can guess where it's from?
I could try. I know it's not Checkers because I already saw the color.
Yeah, no.
Those are McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Wow, that was fucking quick.
You want
So
to you want to have your mind blown though?
What?
I'm on a diet.
What? No, stop it.
I haven't had fast food in 2 weeks. I haven't had soda in 2 weeks either.
Wow.
Any particular reason why?
You got fat.
Yeah, sure. Just doing it with Jen. We're losing weight, pretty much.
Oh, so you gained the weight with her for the baby, so now you're going to lose the baby weight.
Exactly.
Well, you got a tuxedo to fit in like a couple of months.
I know. Hopefully it'll be a little baggy.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. I mean, Howard has one to fit into also. So, yeah, just go to town on those fucking French fries.
Dude. Still losing weight. I couldn't gain weight if I tried right now. It's good.
Fuck
You got
you.
Fitted, right?
What?
You got fitted already?
Yeah, and I got fitted for Kim's brother's tuxedo also.
Oh, okay. Just using those measurements.
No, I actually went and I got remeasured because it's at Men's Warehouse instead of Joseph A. Bank.
Ah.
Fucking shit show. Fucking shit show. Sucks. Let's get into some football
Sure.
with the injuries already happening.
Kenneth Dixon. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge news for Brian. I don't think he even realizes it.
Brian the Ravens fan?
Yeah, he is Terrence West. I mean, for dynasty purposes, not for real life.
No, Rufo has Kenneth Dixon.
Yeah.
He was on his practice squad.
I traded him.
For what you got?
It's a horrific deal with
Chilling?
what was his name from the Lions? Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones, yeah.
That's rough. Well, it doesn't look that bad now.
I still wish I had Ebron.
Yeah. He could bust out this year.
Yeah, and he could play.
I bet you
unlike
had him
unlike Troy Nicholas and whoever the fuck else I have.
You might not have a starter on your team.
No, I'm gonna have a starter because I'm gonna draft one or I'm gonna trade for one. But I don't have one right now. I don't have a starter on my team. No, and I have one starting quarterback as well.
Oof.
Yeah.
You interested in Vance McDonald from San Francisco?
What is he, a tight end?
Yes, he's a tight end.
That's the thing. I don't even know.
I have too many.
Maybe.
I have like 6 on my roster right now. I got to make some trades and cuts.
How do you have 6 tight ends?
I'm kind of leaving.
Just rosters are expanded until cut day.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I figure I might as well, if I see a news article or blurb about someone having a good camp, might as well pick them up, and then injuries happen and trades and shit. So we'll see. I mean, most of the guys that I pick up are going to be cut anyway, and I already have 2 people on my IR. Fucking season didn't even start yet.
How many IR spots do we have now?
We extended it. I think we have like 4 or 6 or something. I think it's 6.
That's a lot of IR spots.
It's necessary, though, with rosters this big.
No, it is. Absolutely. For sure.
What else happened in football? The Jets got Lucky Whitehead. Big fucking deal. Bring up the USA Today rankings and see what we agree and disagree with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we get any like preseason predictions or anything yet? Like over unders?
Let me bring up the USA Today rankings.
We'll see if we agree with them or not.
That's not it. It was USA Today, right?
I forgot where I saw it. forgot where I saw it. Clicked on a. You just click on one thing, then clicks on another thing, then clicks on another thing. And they just
There
done
you
the
go.
7th layer.
I got him. All right. So let's see which ones stand out. They have the Cowboys winning the East.
Interesting.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Hold on. There's an advertisement on USA Today.
Oh yeah, I remember why I clicked on this article now because they are predicting that the Patriots go 16-0.
Yeah, and you know what? I agree. I can't see them losing. What the fuck here?
What is going on over there?
Hey, man. USA Today has these fucking advertisements going on everywhere, so I'm trying to mute them. Sons of bitches. Anyway. Yeah, I'll go right down to AFC East. Yeah, the Patriots going 16-0.
I don't see that happening. First one I disagree with.
Well, let's see. Let's see what their schedule is.
The only thing that worries me with the Patriots is Gronkowski going to be healthy?
Even if they're not, they got Dwayne Allen. And,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
Gronk, they still have Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So let's see. At home against the Chiefs.
Okay.
Home against the Texans.
Okay.
Home against the Panthers. At the Bucks. At the Jets.
That's a tough game.
Home against the Falcons in primetime.
Ooh.
But it's home. Home against the Chargers. At Denver.
Okay.
Home against the Raiders. Home against the Dolphins, and then at Buffalo. So I'm assuming they're going to run the table at home.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't care who they're facing. They're facing
Bucks on the road. Bucks on the road is a tough game.
That could be tough. That's primetime also. That could be tough. What else? I don't think Denver on the road is tough anymore.
No.
Just because their offense is not good. At the Saints, maybe. That's it. At Houston, maybe. That defense is good.
I thought they were playing at home against Houston.
At Houston.
Oh, at Houston.
That's on a Saturday. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's preseason. Shit. Yeah, they're on the road against Houston. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do go 16-0, but do I expect it to happen? I don't think so.
No, you can't. I don't think you ever really expect that, but
I think you know what? I think they have one loss. I think they go 15-1. To be honest.
who do they lose to?
That's a good question.
At the Bucks? At the Saints?
They'll lose a stupid game, like home against the Dolphins or something like that.
On the road against the Jets.
And even they have one road game against the Raiders. That's at a neutral site.
No, they're not going to lose a game that early in the season.
I mean, they always tend to struggle in Buffalo, but I don't see the Bills beating them this year.
Yeah, that's true. They do struggle against Buffalo. I don't see that either. Definitely don't see that. At the Bucks is definitely tough. That's a tough one.
They have the Jets going. They have the Jets going 1-15.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I could absolutely see that.
I'd be happy with that.
I can't even tell you which team we would beat. Cowboys going 11-5. Giants 10-6. Redskins 5-11. Oof.
Wow.
These are some bold predictions. USA Day. I don't see the Redskins going 5-11.
Only where I see that happening. I mean, that's a tough division. They're going to beat up on each other.
Yeah.
The Packers going 12-4. I could get down with that. I think the Packers are going to win the NFC this year. Vikings 9-7. I like that. I think the Lions are going to do a lot better than 5-11.
Yeah, so do I.
I really like the Lions
too.
this year. I don't think the Falcons are going 12-4. Bucks 10-6. That's good. I like that. Seahawks 11-5. Fuck them. Yeah, Brian's Ravens going 9-7. The Bengals going 5-11. Oof.
Yeah, that's weird.
The Titans going 12-4.
I mean, I would like that because I got Mariota and Rashad.
Sure.
I would like that.
The Colts going 5-11. That would be weird. I think the Titans are going to do well. I don't think they're going to do 12-4 well. I like the Texans. The Jaguars are getting better. That's a tough division too. That's a really, really tough division.
And what is all this stuff with Andrew Luck? Now he got a soldier surgery. Now he's hoping to be ready for the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. There's reports saying that he's been throwing, not around media and shit. But I don't know. This is why I have, in my article that I wrote, this is why I have Cam Newton ahead of Andrew Luck in Dynasty rankings.
Oh, I definitely think so. Dynasty-wise, this year, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, Luck. He for me, he really hasn't done a whole lot since his rookie year, second year, and they built around him. They gave him weapons. That offensive line isn't that good, but
their offensive line has gotten him killed.
It's atrocious.
I mean, they need they still have Frank Gore. They drafted a running back late. They got T.Y. Hilton. They got Philip Dorsett. They got Dante Moncrief. They have Jack Doyle. Eric Swope. They got weapons. I don't know. I think the Panthers are going to be good. Tough though, because the Bucks are just going to be so good. What the fuck is that?
That's your father.
Father.
Your father.
Okay.
Power play show.
Yankees suck?
Rangers suck. Rangers suck.
We'll talk about my hockey team.
Rangers suck cock. Big black cock and balls.
That's a racial stuff.
They suck cock and balls.
We're going to be
all
thrown
at
off
once.
YouTube now.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me?
Gonna be thrown off YouTube.
Yep. Just like people are getting thrown off Twitter.
I don't understand what you guys are saying.
Jesus. Said we're gonna get thrown
Never
off
mind.
YouTube because of the language that you're using.
Oh shit! It sounds like you're all in a fucking tunnel.
Maybe your phone sucks.
Should I call on the other phone?
I don't know. Howard, can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine, yes.
I hear Howard fine. Anthony? I hear Anthony fine.
Yeah. Well, you guys are breaking up a little bit, but I think that's my fucking my Wi-Fi.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nice to hear you. What's up, my fucking brothers?
It's good. What's going on?
Person.
What's up, Uncle Scott?
Joe Girardi last night almost made me have a canary.
For Brooklyn Saturday?
Me? I already spoke to you about that.
Anthony's breaking up again.
This has gotten awkward because I think Anthony froze again.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
All I see is him blinking.
I know. Because things just keep breaking up and I can't hear anything. And then I know you guys can't hear me, so I'm just kind of waiting it out.
It's fucking hot.
What's going on?
You were saying something about Joe Girardi?
Yeah, I mean, last night me and my son were watching a game, and I just could not understand. And what's the kid's name?
Canely?
Canely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he start Canely in the 8th inning? He threw maybe 5 or 6 pitches to get out of the 7th.
Yeah, that wasn't the issue. The issue is the 8th inning is Dellin Betances.
And that's the problem here, because the issue actually is that this fucking putz, all right, is so into his fucking book and his fucking numbers and his fucking assignments and his fucking this and his fucking that. And, you knew Montgomery was coming out regardless of his pitch count when a batter got on via a walk or a hit because he was approaching 80 pitches. Even though the guy was fucking lights out all night, I told Jared, first guy that gets on, he's out of the game. So you take him out of the game. Bring in this young man whose name, again, I can't pronounce, and he gets out of the inning. Now, the guy's, 25, 26, 27 years old? He can throw.
I was surprised.
Pitches.
I was surprised Montgomery started the 7th.
Well, his pitch count was pretty decent. He was in the low 70s at that point, I think.
I know it was. But just like you were saying with his assignments, I thought he was going to go to his 7th inning guy, which is normally David Robertson.
Yeah, well, Robertson was unavailable because he pitched on Sunday. This guy,
how is that even possible? They had an off day.
Because he's done a very good job this year as a manager. He really has, okay?
Uh-huh.
But this pitching staff, why is it automatic closer? Right now, on your team, the best closer wears number 30.
This conversation sounds familiar.
Yes.
Yeah, we just had this conversation, actually.
This goes to show that he doesn't listen to the show.
I was on the phone. I was on the phone with Howard Zahn. But my point is that he has his assignments. Betances is this inning guy, but regardless what's happening, Chapman is my closer.
Right.
Joe, he's not the best pitcher on your staff right now. He's not. Robertson is a lot better than Chapman and Betances. Betances, we don't know what we're getting with Betances. He was nice. He was good on the second half of the road trip. You thought he was coming back, but holy fuck.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean,
we're going to lose that game, and you're playing a team that you have to sweep the 2-game series. No ifs, ands, or buts.
But they did.
Oh yeah,
under 500, and they did. But my point is this: why does every fucking game have to be a fucking nail biter?
Basically because the bullpen hasn't been as good as it should have been. It should have been.
Check out this stat right here. Amazing.
What?
It's
I don't see the stat.
You can't see shit. So it's the most pitches with 99 plus mile per hour this season, and Syndergaard has 52, Carlos Martinez has 59, and then Severino has 100.
Hey, he was amazing again today, Severino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think like 6th inning, but he was really up by like 4 runs at that point, so he kind of went into cruise control.
I'm surprised he left him in the 7th inning.
He's had an easier leash with Severino. I mean, he's let him go past the 100 pitch mark a few times now. So
was he over 100 today?
I didn't see any of the game. I was working.
I believe he was.
I was, trying to catch the updates, but I saw that he finished the 7th inning, even though they were unearned runs, which was surprising. that he left him in there. Girardi's going to do what Girardi's going to do, but it's just so aggravating to watch because this team, and much to my son's going to disagree with me, I think this team can do something here. They weathered the storm over the last month and a half of a very bad period. Found themselves coming home from a road trip, 2 games back in the loss column, and now they're 1 game up in the loss column.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do this homestand with a minimum of 7-2. Minimum.
Well, they definitely have a big series coming up here with the Rays.
Yeah, they got to take 3 out of 4. And who they play after the Rays?
Detroit. Yep. Pretty bad.
I'm saying 7-2, and you look at the Yankees, and they were saying today that the farthest trip they have to make the rest of the season is to Texas. They don't have to go to the West Coast. So that's at least what they said on ESPN.
Yeah,
they're done with the West Coast.
Yeah, they don't go back out on the West Coast. They only make. I think they already made their 2 trips.
So
yeah, they went out to. They had the.
Is that Anthony?
Yeah, I was gonna say they had the nightmare West Coast road trip, and then they had the The good West Coast road trip where they went out to Seattle and took 3 out of 4.
Right. No, they had a winning road trip this time. They finally won a series. They got to get their shit together. Some guy, Holiday's got to start hitting again. They got to stay healthy because they can contend for, worst case, a wild card spot. They could possibly win a division. I don't see them going too far. I don't see them being Houston or, I'd like to see them make the playoffs because it would be good for these young guys to get the experience.
After Detroit, there's a nasty stretch. We're at Cleveland for 4.
Yeah.
Oof.
Then a day off, and then at Toronto for 3, and then Boston for 3.
That's a tough stretch.
What's with all these 4-game sets? I mean, I feel like we've been playing 4-game sets all year.
And then a home and home against the Mets for that week, and then back at Boston. So just look at the next after Detroit. We got 6 games against the Red Sox, 4 against the Indians.
Yep.
That's fucking hell. That's brutal. And then we play the Indians again at the end of the month. So
well, we do got to play them. We do got to play them twice. So
August is gonna. Whew, that is tough.
It's a killer schedule coming up.
Well, you got to tread water. You got to stay close.
Sure. Yeah, sure. And listen, I mean, I think they're like 6-3 against the Red Sox this year. So they've played them well. They even beat Sale once, and then they had the game where Sale pitched amazing, and Kimbrel gave up the home run to Holiday, and then they went.
Severino pitched amazing in that game, so
that's right. He basically went toe-to-toe with Chris Sale, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, very tough to do, absolutely.
You look back on the last few weeks of their of this stretch where they dropped quite a few games. I really can't think of maybe 1 or 2 games where they were actually blown out. They were in most of the games.
Oh no, there's a lot of games where
9 and 19 and 1-run games, which is bad, but they were in most of those games.
Absolutely. If the bullpen converts some of those saves, I mean, they're probably 3 or 4 games up.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to September's schedule, working backwards, we end the season at home against Toronto.
Yep.
And then before that is 3 games with Tampa. So those are 6 games that aren't bad. Then we have a makeup with Kansas City. And then before that, we're at Toronto. And then the Twins, the Orioles, the Rays. So those are series that very winnable.
Winnable.
Very winnable. Yeah, because Toronto will be mailing it in at that time.
But August is going to make or break this team. That is a tough fucking schedule. Jesus.
Yeah, especially being like basically right on the Red Sox. When you play them head to head, because you can't depend on them to lose every day the way that they've been losing.
No,
they won today. Chris Sale pitched, and I think they won like 5-0, something like that. But they did drop the last 2 to the Mariners, and I think they have 1 more with the Mariners tomorrow night.
Good.
And I think they're just basically on the West Coast. I think they play Anaheim next or something like that.
Yeah, I think they played Anaheim over this past weekend.
They played them in Fenway. They played them in Fenway. I don't think they played them in LA.
I'll look up.
They played them in Fenway, and then they played Seattle on Monday night.
No, I think they were on the West Coast. I think Boston was on the West Coast.
I believe.
I'm gonna look up the schedule.
Really?
Let's see. Boston was. You're talking about after the break? They were on the West Coast. They were in LA. They were at LA.
Oh.
They were after the break. It was us, Blue Jays.
Oh, okay, so they were in Anaheim.
Yeah, at Anaheim, at Seattle. Then they're coming home to do a weekend set with Kansas City, and then they got to play the Indians.
I heard today that Hicks is looking for a rehab assignment. He says he's ready.
Who? Aaron
Hicks for a rehab assignment.
You won't bring him up till after the trade deadline.
Cashman better be burning up the phones to trade Ellsbury.
Sure.
I can't see optioning Frazier back to the minors.
Nah, this is what we spoke about this as well, kind of ad nauseum.
This is
You can't. No, you can't. You can't send this kid down. You can't. Not the way he's playing.
He's one of your most productive players right now.
just looking ahead. Boston, they finished the season up with a 4-game set at home against the Astros.
Ooh.
Oh wow, that could work in our favor.
That's
Don't be playing for anything.
No, but yeah, you're right about that.
Doesn't best record give you the home field for the World Series?
Yes, it does now.
It does, yeah, it
There you
does.
go.
So maybe they'll be playing for that,
Yeah, because
especially the way the Dodgers are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So that could work in our favor right there. I mean, listen, I think if we're gonna do anything, we have to win the division. No ifs, ands, or buts. We don't have the pitcher to put out there on the mound in a 1-game playoff to get us into the playoffs. I just don't believe that we do.
Severino
is great. I don't have the confidence in him.
But you
at
might
this
need
point
him at the end of the year. To get to that 1 game.
Oh, of course you will.
Sure.
Of course you will.
You don't know how the rotation shakes out at that point.
But at the same time,
Girardi won't pitch anybody on short rest. We know that.
And that's why it's so important that you win the division.
I agree. I think they win the division.
Because
doesn't it depend on the record as far as playing a wild card game?
No, the 2 wild
Well,
cards.
Two
Wild
wild
cards
cards
play
play
the
each other.
wild card game. Yeah, you win the division.
yeah, the wild cards play each other. Yeah, you win the division, you're in. You don't play. You play the winner of the wild card. More than likely,
And that would be a regular
Yeah, 3 out of
That's
3.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you would play the winner of the AL Central, so it would basically be the Yankees and Indians.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. I mean, I don't care who we play if we get into the playoffs. I'd like to see the team make the playoffs. I think it'd be a big step.
Yeah, I mean, even if we get swept, I mean, it's the big key is getting the kids those 3 games in the playoffs.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know it's gonna be
That's
crowded
really the big key.
back. If it comes back before September 1st, it's going to be a very crowded outfield, and somebody's going to go.
Good talk.
Very crowded outfield for the Yankees, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I got to head inside. I'm getting bit up out here because I'm sitting outside.
All right.
Yeah, guys, I got to get going too. My phone is crapping the fuck out.
All right.
All right.
All right, fellas.
All right.
See ya.
Good talk.
Bye.
All right, boys. I guess we'll pick up the fantasy talk next week. We'll do some more fantasy talk, and as we prepare for some drafts, for some dynasty rookie drafts, for some regular fantasy league drafts, and do some division previews.
Sounds good.
And then plus we'll recap the trade deadline next week.
Yes.
Whatever happens or whatever doesn't happen. Jacoby Ellsbury still in the Yankee uniform.
Absolutely.
Hi, buddy.
All right, so until next
Howard, I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, I'll see you this weekend, bro.
Jared, are you coming to Brooklyn?
Game time decision. I got to talk to Ashley still. We had plans,
Yeah.
but we were thinking about moving some things around so we can make it up there.
All right, cool.
I'll let you know.
All right.
All right.
All right. See you
See you
guys.
guys later.
Bye.
Bye.